We are live. Holy crap, guys. Welcome to the 7th episode of Exploring Star Trek Discovery, or the first episode after the life-changing experience that was the first 2 episodes of Star Trek Discovery. I am your host, Average Joe the Average Geek, and of course I got my bridge crew here. Again, -1. That's got to stop happening. But we got Will Smith and we got Patrick Whitehead today. Kevin Stallings may or may not appear. He's probably in, like having DTs right now. Oh, man, guys. Wow. What'd you think?
Too much to process at this point.
Yeah,
amazing. I would say is the word.
Yeah, I think we're all still kind of stunned about what we just witnessed. I just tweeted out not long ago that we just watched the best Star Trek movie since First Contact. And I think that's pretty accurate description of those first 2 episodes.
Yep.
Oh, man. What'd you think, Pat?
I feel like a kid again, man. Sitting in front of my television on Saturday night watching Star Trek, man.
Yeah, it was just so cinematic. So, man, I don't know what I was expecting. I was expecting something amazing. And after the very first few moments of the first episode, I messaged y'all and I'm like, guys, I think we're in store for greatness. And it delivered. It delivered. It is, without a doubt, Star Trek in all of its glory. And it's so true to what Star Trek is, but it's being told in such a new way. I mean, just cinema. It looked like a movie. It like we were watching a movie.
Yeah, the production value was just simply amazing.
Yeah, I mean, we're all very kind of low key right now because I think we're still processing what it is that we just watched. So let's just start at the very beginning. Because it's usually where you should start things. Opening, the way it opened up with Takuvma, which is a cool Klingon name, by the way. And these Klingons are straight legit. Like, legit Klingons. Starting off with Takuvma's speech, about uniting the houses and, the Federation and the lie of we come in peace. Oh, what a great way.
I know we're starting at the beginning, but dang, Takuma, that dude was cool.
Oh yeah, I love him.
He was wicked.
Especially with the captain saying, "Oh, we should talk," and he goes, "Here it comes."
Here comes the great Federation lie.
Wow.
It's seeing the new Klingon designs in action are so good. It's so good.
Oh, like, yeah. It just really made me forget of all the gripes I had earlier, because I'm like totally into these Klingons. It's like so raw and unfiltered. Love it.
Oh yeah, like they're just unabashedly Klingons. They're like Klingon, like real Klingons, like the Klingons Kalis wants you to be. Like, I am a Klingon true believer now. I will follow Takuvma. Oh man, that was wonderful. It was a great way to start the series with them, because I mean, it showed that we are going to get deeper into Klingon culture and Klingon society, as we did over the first couple of episodes. There was a lot of Klingon stuff, which was really freaking cool. Really cool. And then they open it up between with Philippa Georgiou and Michael Burnham on that desert world where they just casually saved a species. You know, just casually saving a species. Oh, we're lost, but you know what? We're gonna save this species. We're gonna go find some water for them. A couple of phaser shots into the ground, and the wellspring of life sprung forth. I looked over at my wife. I was like, "There you go." As Star Trek, just casually saving a species. Like,
Yep. Without violating General Order Number 1.
Yes, without violating the prime directive as you just spoke. And it was at this point that I'm like, okay. That's when I messaged y'all earlier, and I was like, okay, we're up for something special, because it was at that point that I just kind of just like got set back and just got a little emotional, man. A tear crept forth from my cold Klingon heart, and I'm like, oh God, yes, like Trek is back. Trek is back. I've missed Trek on TV for a long time.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting to miss it, that I missed it that much. That 30 seconds into the first episode, I'm like blubbering. Oh. And it was a great little exchange between the two characters right then too. And of course them walking out the Delta, in the sand.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we just walked the circle. Not quite.
Yeah. How awesome was Michelle? Is Michelle Yeoh? Was Michelle Yeoh? Like, oh, by the way, everybody, this is going to be a very spoiler-filled episode. So if you haven't watched episodes 1 and 2 of Star Trek Discovery, A, what's wrong with you? And B, stop now, go watch, come back, because we're going to spoil the shit out of it.
Yep.
All right. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. I called it. I called that she wouldn't last the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
We all called it. What are you talking about?
That's true. That's true. We kind of all did kind of call that right there. But man, like everything about this show just hit on all cylinders right from the very beginning, right from the bat, right off the bat. And just from the style of it, the design of it, the vocabulary that they were using, the hints at established canon, like Takuvma speaking about Denatu 4. Like that episode, that battle, or Denatu 5, that battle was referenced in Trials and Tribulations. That's where they talked about the last great battle, between, or a big battle between the Federation and the Klingons.
Right.
So for Takuvma to reference that was great. One of the Federation vessels that warped in was the Taplana Hoth. That was the name of the Vulcan ship that made first contact in Bozeman, Montana.
Yeah.
It was great. It was great. Oh, man. What I love the sound design, like the original series sound of the doors opening, or that little trills from all the computers on the bridge. I mean, it was everything I could have asked for and more. I am like coming down on the highest, the greatest dopamine rush that I've had in a very long time. So, what were your favorite parts of the in general, before we start really getting into plot points, which I'm sure we'll get into? What were your favorite things about what we saw tonight?
I think Lieutenant Saru's premonitions of death. I thought that was pretty interesting. I think were those gills that were extending out of his neck?
Oh yeah, when he got freaked
Or
out and they started growing out in the back of his head.
yeah,
It was they didn't dwell on that at all. It was just very kind of subtle in passing. He gets freaked out and things just start.
yeah.
It's
And I think
fantastic.
I think also the moral dilemma that Burnham had. You know, it wasn't really, her fault that she served as the catalyst for everything to come. It just happened the way it happened.
Yeah, and
She didn't ask for it.
it definitely illuminates what Gabriel Lorca said in one of the previews leading up for it when he looks at Burnham and goes, "You started this war. Don't you want to help me finish it?" Because in a way, she legitly started this war.
Yeah.
Oh, what about you, Pat? What was your in a very general sense? What was your favorite kind of thing that you saw tonight?
Well, you kind of touched on it. The catalyst of starting the war. Burnham inadvertently, spearing a Klingon, leaving him floating on his own ship. The Shinzo, like very Voyager-esque, the Shinzo dropping down to pick
That was slick.
the captain up, and I was like, "Oh, dude, you ripped that from Voyager, you bastard!"
That was so slick, so well done. That was great. Now, I guess the question was, did Michael accidentally kill the torchbearer?
Yeah, that was
I say yeah.
I don't know. I'm on the fence, man. I am on the fence about whether she accidentally killed the torchbearer.
You saw
there
her,
on the beacon.
She hit those thrusters that she lunged to that dude, and all you saw his sword go through his own back. Just like
exactly, that's all you saw.
Kill by your
In purple blood.
They did have purple blood. Yes, such a goofy thing to cheer, but man, oh, it was so good, so very good. See, I'm not entirely convinced that it was an accident. I'm really not, because her first instinct was to rush. She didn't go backwards. She didn't go upward. She head forward.
Yeah.
So I don't know. She's a very fiery individual and made some very interesting choices. Definitely made some very interesting choices in the first couple of episodes. Things that I wasn't expecting, like not at all. Yeah, it was okay. So let's talk to what she takes out the torchbearer. She goes back to the ship. She gets healed up in a very cool medical sequence. It's kind of like we finally got to see what happens inside the medical tube. It was a great bridge between Enterprise and the original series. Because in Enterprise they had that medical tube that they were constantly sticking people into to diagnose and repair and heal and all that kind of stuff. Thank you, Dr. Phlox. We see it from a very interesting perspective this time as Burnham is undergoing anti-proton therapy to help heal her from the massive amount of radiation she received from the accretion disk. So that was really cool. Nice little bridge there. That she gets on the heads back up to the ship, and she's like, "No, there's Klingons, and they're going to kill us all. They're going to be Klingons." And it didn't shy away from the very thematic issues of like, okay, we know that Michael Burnham's parents were killed by Klingons. We know that whole storyline going into the show, and it was very overt how that history informed how she reacted and how she went forward against the Klingons she's encountered. It kind of makes you wonder if how much of her emotion got in the way. How she wasn't being completely logical. Even when she got that little bit of advice from Sarek and she went to Sarek, she's like, okay, Sarek, how did the Vulcans maintain relations with the Klingons? And Sarek straight up's like, yeah, I'm going to tell you, but I highly advise you doing this. Like, this is not going to work for you, for humans. And she was so locked in that struggle between humanity and being a Vulcan that she made a possibly really dumb mistake. Which is great because now we're getting,
hello.
Yeah. We're already in the first couple of episodes tackling very strong Trek themes. Without it being the episode of the week, the episodic kind of storyline where it's very kind of ham-fisted. Like it's proven that we can have these discussions over a serialized story. Because there was a lot of very thematic things we need to talk about in the first couple of episodes. Was Michael Burnham right in nerve pinching Georgiou? Was she right to, attempt to shoot the Klingons? We don't really know. I would argue that Philippa Georgiou was absolutely correct in confining her to the brig. Burnham made some dumb decisions, and it killed people. Looking at the trailer for the episodes to come, 8,168 people were killed in the first 2 days of conflict with the Klingons. Holy crap. That is dozens of ships. Maybe even a colony or two. This war escalated very, very quickly.
Man, I think Burnham should have just did what she did, do what she was going to do, nerve pincher, fire on a Klingon ship and haul ass.
So you are Team Burnham.
Yeah. I mean, this also showed you how flawed or messed up Federation ways were, Like, oh, we don't fire first. We don't do this. Like, okay, you know what the Klingons are. You know they're a warrior race. You know they fire first. Ask questions later. Sort the bodies out later.
Right.
Why are you going to stick to your guns? We're not going to fire first. We're just going to see what they do first. Well, you saw what they did first. We're going to shine a bright light. Let you sit back and ponder what the hell is going to happen. And when that light drops, hello, how you doing? Every house in the Klingon Empire. Fuck you.
Right.
Yeah. And what an amazing shot that was too, when the beacon came down and then all these Klingon vessels just started popping out of warp. And it's just a Shinzo and this tiny little Walker class ship is facing off against 3 dozen Klingon capital ships. Oh, so good.
Yes.
So good. So I'm Team Georgiou. Pat is Team Burnham. And what say you, Will? Did Burnham do the right thing in nerve pinching her captain?
I would say that would be 100. I am 100% Team Burnham on this one, only because she sought out somebody who had experience with the Klingons, who knew who the Klingons were, a very logical race who normally does not go out and just fire on Klingon ships. But they learned their lesson the first time when one of their ships got destroyed. So the only logical next step would be to fire on the Klingons first, and that gained the Vulcans' respect.
Okay.
So if that would have been carried out by Burnham, even after giving Georgiou the Vulcan nerve pinch, then I think it could have stopped everything. In theory, it could have stopped everything.
Okay. See, I don't
But,
know.
but who's to know?
See, I don't know where I stand on that because yeah, it was logical from a Vulcan perspective, but the Vulcan perspective and the human perspective, they don't align.
They don't. Not all the time.
You know,
They
I
they they don't align. They don't align. But in that situation, what we just saw, the Shinzo would have been safe. The captain would have never died. Yeah, Burnham would have got court-martialed. You know, be damned. You know, whatever. But you know, Burnham wanted to save her captain and her crew. That's all she cared about.
see. I
Yeah.
think
Screw everything else. You know what I mean?
no. And she says it herself. She's like, I thought that saving your life and saving the life of this crew was more important than Federation ideals, which was a very James T. Kirk thing to say. You know,
Mhm.
it's very Kirkish, which was really, really, really cool. So I don't disagree with you guys, but I'm going to play a little devil's advocate here and go, if they were faced up against just maybe a, let's say House Martok, all right, and it was just this standard kind of headbutt that the Federation and the Klingons have always had, maybe that tactic would have worked. But this dude, Takuvma, and his Takuvma's followers, thinks he is the second coming of Klingon Jesus. You know, straight up holy rollers, true believers, in a very religious sense of the word. I don't know if it would have stopped him. I don't know if Takuvma would have even waited long enough for that kind of Vulcan hello to have even mattered. Because obviously he was Takuvma from the very beginning was like, in his head, he was like, I'm going to get all the Klingon houses here. I'm going to get the entire sector fleet of Federation here, and I'm going to blow them all up. I'm going to let everybody know that under Takuvma, he will unite the houses. So from that perspective, I don't know if the Vulcan hello would have worked.
Well, this kind of blows because in the end, what Burnham told JoJo was freaking right. Like, one, if we kill Takuma, he's a martyr. What he wants is going to come to pass. That uniting the Klingon Empire. If we take him and go, yo, look what we got, that would change everything. Well, that didn't happen.
No, it didn't. Which is a very interesting point going into episode 2 to kind of blend it all together, because it really was a 2-hour. It was a feature film. What we just saw, it was a feature film review. So we kind of got to look at both episodes as one thing in the whole. With at the very end when Burnham and Giorgio, they did the whole really cool kind of photon torpedo trick. Very dirty maneuver, but great maneuver, to decapitate the head off of that looked like an ancient D5. And then teleport onto the bridge in an effort to capture Takuvma. Burnham yet again let her emotions get in the way. She's not a good Vulcan. She might have been raised on Vulcan. No. She might have went through the academy. She went all that kind of stuff. But
she's human.
Yeah. And she made a stupid decision again. She had the opportunity. Like, yes, Giorgio was just knifed by Takuvma, but she had a phaser to his back and could have stunned him and teleported both of them off the ship, achieving the mission. But she let her emotions get in the way, and she killed him. She made that the choice again. Because when she picked up that phaser was on stun. She switched it to kill. She made that choice. Meaning Philippa Giorgio died in vain.
The way she got stabbed, though, Jesus.
Wow, I wasn't expecting that one.
And that's the TVMA right there. That's the TVMA.
I was like, point blank assassination. Like, Jesus.
Because in old Trek, we wouldn't have seen that in film. We would have seen that on TV. That would have been implied.
Yeah, they would have pulled back. Like, you would have saw Joe's eyes roll. That's it. And boom.
Yeah,
boom.
that would have been implied. Or it'd be that kind of very obvious kind of knife to the side of the body, like stage stabbing that we see. Not this, the visceral nature of what we saw tonight.
Or the silhouette.
Yeah. But Burnham made a bad choice. Like, it was a comedy of... See, she's a great character. I'm not knocking the character by any shape or means of the words, because it's these flaws and foibles that create good characters. And we're going to see her character grow throughout the course of the show. And it's going to be interesting to see how she interacts with Lorca, moving forward. But she made it was a comedy of errors on her part, just over and over again, from the very beginning. From when she, instead of just doing the flyby on the beacon ship, no, she had to land. So, and then she activated the beacon when she landed. Okay, instead of backing up or trying to, avoid a physical confrontation with the torchbearer, she rammed him, causing his death.
So it was almost like she was out to prove herself to her comrades.
I think if it was any other species out there that they were interacting with, Michael Burnham would have made completely different choices.
Mm-hmm.
But because she's so emotionally invested in Klingons, it was very Kirk, Search for Spock. It was very Search for Spock. You Klingon bastard, you killed my son.
Speaking of Spock S, when she got teleported back to the Shinzo, when she was like laying on the transporter pad and wigging out, it reminded me of what was it? Into Darkness? Yeah, Star Trek Into Darkness, when Kirk died and you Spock. Bad when he spat. That was the Khan's name, but he spazzes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I started to smile at that point. I was like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
There's just some really good decisions made by the writing staff. Some really poor decisions made by Michael Burnham. But they were entertaining. They were great. They were very human, and they were very Star Trek. Very, very Star Trek. That constant struggle, of human ideals versus human nature.
All right, not to foreshadow too much, but the previews, going forward of Discovery. Do you think, with her being court-martialed, stripped of rank, and getting shuttled, and then instead of her going to, getting locked the hell up on the Discovery, how much time has passed, you think? And then the next question, what the hell is a Discovery? Because that's not like a normal Starfleet ship. That's that to me that ship, the Discovery is an answer to a problem,
Right. It's a very unique looking ship. It really is. I want to know more about the class. Maybe it's a Discovery class. Maybe it's the first of its name. We don't really know. It would surprise me if it's a science vessel and not a warship.
Well,
it looks like a science vessel.
Was like, what the hell's going on in this ship?
Yeah, it looks like we're getting a spatial anomaly. Like, yes. Hey,
I'm thinking it might be like a.
Hi, Lucky Larry. Welcome to chat. Welcome to the show. All right, go ahead, Will. What were you saying?
I was hoping maybe the Discovery might be like the Excelsior of its time, perhaps.
Made before its time, basically, you're trying to say?
A test bed ship.
Yeah.
We're gonna try some new engines. We're gonna try some new scanners. We're gonna try some new stuff. I mean, maybe. I think it's really wild that we went through the first 2 episodes of Star Trek Discovery and have yet to see the Discovery.
True.
We still haven't got that. Oh, see, Lucky Larry, that's what you know, man. Fuck, he came here for the baiting, but he seemed to be so friendly, so he's just going to stay. Yeah, well, welcome to the show, man. Like, we're welcoming people. I hope you enjoy the show. Hope you watch Discovery and let us know what you think. But hey, I think he came here and decided he might want to try to troll us, but it's not going to work. We're good guys. We're happy people. We're on the high of watching. Like, Star Trek is back. Like, you're not going to ruin our night.
Not lose your sleep over it.
Yeah, really. I'm gotta wake up early in the morning. Got to get my kids to school. I got to be at work early in the morning. I'm not sleeping tonight. There just ain't no hell of a damn way. It's just I'm gonna be running through this over and over and over again for the rest of the night. It's really gonna happen.
Oh, okay. I don't want to hear when I get into work. I'm out here. I'm tired. Ooh.
Oh, I ain't gonna do all that, man. Oh, I gotta call boss lady in the morning. Oh man! All right, let's see. What do I want to talk about next?
That actually kind of sucked there. Like, I was half expecting the Shinzo, of course. Boom, it goes, and all of a sudden, Discovery comes out of nowhere, like smoking, like coming in like dang, what is it? What was the episode of Star Trek where you got this time anomaly where the Enterprise E with the third nacelle comes up out of nowhere, blows up a ship.
Oh, it's Best of Both Worlds. That's the series finale.
No, that was All Good Things. The
All
finale.
Good Things. Yeah, excuse me. Yeah. And Best of Both Worlds was Locutus.
Yeah, like blows up a Klingon ship, and it's we all just spaz.
There was like no mercy. It just happened.
Yeah.
That big ass cannon on the bottom of the saucer.
I know.
I'm not gonna lie. I was like, okay, I was half expecting the Enterprise to show up in that fight. Maybe it's just programming from years and years of Trek. But I was just like, okay, we're gonna see the Constitution because we know it's active right now according to the animated series. If you view it as canon, it's under the command of Robert April currently. I know people go back and forth. But April's Enterprise just come in and just start beating ass. Didn't happen. But I guess I'm kind of glad it didn't happen. That's why you don't have Batman show up on the DC shows, like TV shows, because as soon as Batman shows up, it becomes the Batman show.
Right.
So we'll have to keep the Enterprise in the periphery for the time being, but I am expecting it to show up at some point in the series.
Yeah, it has to.
Yeah, it's just too important. I mean, it's the Federation flagship. Let's talk about those. Let's talk about those battles, okay? The Klingons have the Federation so outgunned, it's laughable.
Yeah.
Like those Klingon weapons, like just completely ignored Federation shielding. Like Federation shielding just didn't exist up to against those Klingon guns. I mean, which makes sense.
That big phaser blast on one of the Klingon ships. I was like, oh my gosh. Monster.
Oh, yeah. That giant front cannon, that nose cannon that we know so well from, previous Trek stories. To see this, like, ancient version of it on whatever class that was. whatever
What
class
was-
ship
and-
that is.
And just when you thought, when the admiral says, "Okay, yeah, well, let's talk," and then he was like, "We're gonna have our special envoy show up," and all of a sudden you see this like
Prepared to
humongous
receive
ship.
my envoy. He just rams it, decloaks.
I was like, "Oh my god!" It reminded me of like Nero's ship from Star Trek '09,
Scimitar.
the Scimitar.
Oh man, that ship, that whole battle sequence was just jaw dropping, dude. Are we guys some anon from /TV or /V? No, this is for my. I have a YouTube page. I'm Average Joe, the Average Geek, and this is my bridge crew. Say hi, guys.
Yo.
Hello.
See, just talking Star Trek. Like we're not even making a whole lot of cogent sense tonight because we're just like, oh, did you see this? Well, yeah, did you see that? And that was really cool.
I mean, this is a complete reaction show, so it's
Oh yeah, completely.
It's
What we
informal,
should do.
completely informal. It's just we're just blurting out. Oh my god!
I'm probably gonna record a proper review tomorrow for my channel.
Yeah.
Right, I just really want to talk about this with you guys tonight and have this kind of like right off the bat kind of review and reaction show because it was so good. and little things that people were complaining about, the transporter pads on the Shinzo, that was addressed. You know, when Michael Burnham's like, hey, Klingons got rid of the whole horizontal transporter transfer years ago because it was, inefficient. And Philip Georgiou was like, yeah, well, Federation is too. It's just this is an old ship and I like it, so deal with it.
And also, we need to establish the proper pronunciation of the Shinzo, because I know it's not Shinzo, it's something else, and I can't remember how they pronounce it on the show.
Sinsho? I don't know. It's the Sinjo to me. I'm gonna pronounce it however I want to pronounce it. My southern accent, Southern North Carolina accent, does not allow me to say it properly, so I'm not going to try. I hear people now. You're heathen rednecks.
I like the way you talk.
We like our Star Trek this way.
That boy's got a purty mouth. French fried taters.
We like watching that Star Trek.
Lucky Larry wants to know what we do in real life. I am the manager of a bookstore. Pat here is also a manager in my bookstore. And Will does, what do you do? You work in a hospital, right?
I work in the hospital, but as a hobby or as a passion, I do photography.
There you go.
Do a lot of photography, so
fun. So yeah, nothing spectacular.
No,
just normal jobs.
Yep.
Oh man,
Discovery.
Right. Oh man, Star Trek Discovery. What a awesome premiere. Like I said earlier, and I tweeted this out, and CBS liked my tweet and all. I was like, this is amazing stuff. It's the best Trek film since First Contact. It really does seem that way. Like it was much more cinematic than, we can tell a little bit by the trailers and all that it was going to be cinematic as all get out, but just the way it just felt like a movie. It looks like a movie.
You can definitely tell it's a movie. Every time the camera panned around, two people talking, you saw a light flash in your face. Like, seriously?
it does enjoy the lens flare. Of course, I don't mind the lens flare. The lens flare doesn't bother me. The lens flare has always had a way, like a subconscious way of informing the viewer about the future. It makes everything feel super futury. All that reminds me was one of the really cool things is when Michael Burnham's doing her first officer's log, star date, blah 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 blah. On Earth, it's March 3rd, 2252. You know, a Sunday. I'm like, hey, well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Here's something for you non-trackies. This is what it means.
Awesome, Lucky Larry. Make sure you leave a comment about what kind of subscription box you want. A box, Geek Fuel, or standard Loot Crate. Well, I don't know. You're in Europe. I might not be able to send it to you, but we'll try because I'm doing a subscription contest for 100 subscribers. So thanks for subscribing. We're going to do this show weekly. So have a good one, buddy. Yeah. I like picking up subscribers. Yeah. He quoted himself as a hero fag here. It's 5 a.m. So, you know. It's not the greatest way to describe oneself, but all right. High five for our European fans. So, all right. So we've gushed like ad nauseum about the things that we've loved in this episode, or 2 episodes. What did you not like, if anything?
I can't think of anything at this point.
It's like, now you gotta be negative. That's kind of hard.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure later on I'm going to find something I don't like, but as right now I'm just still caught up in the after whatever you want to call it. But yeah.
I want to lay in the bed and smoke a cigarette.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let me see. What I don't like. Let me see. I feel like the redhead instant should have died first, instead of so the other dude getting, like, you know, concussed. And go to sick bay. Yes, yes, sir. We're going to the brig. Why are we doing this? Oh my God! Boom in space.
Blasted out into.
Oh man! Oh,
to infinity and beyond.
Okay. There is one thing I didn't like. Michael Burnham is probably like the luckiest human in the galaxy to be stuck on the brig with 75% of the hull is gone around her.
It's definite plot armor.
That whole ethical discussion she had with the computer, which is kind of
I loved that.
Yeah,
she out-logicked a logic machine. which is incredibly Vulcan and incredibly cool. I love that. I love the whole, you know, jumping through the vacuum of space, and that was great.
Yeah,
great. I love it before it happened. She took one good breath, and it, and you just see her, the cold dead space hit her, and just like, holy crap, you're not gonna make it, chick.
See,
and make it.
And that is 100% scientifically accurate, because we all had this conversation with Guardians of the Galaxy came out a couple of years back. You know, the whole scene with Star-Lord, you know, he takes his mask off and he gives it to Gamora, and, you know, his eyes start rupturing. You know, he starts, you know, bloodshot eyes and freezing over. That's what would happen. You're not going to – there was a penchant for, you know, 80s science fiction.
Rest in peace, Andu.
Yeah, to it you know, you get exposed to the vacuum of space, you immediately explode, which is not even remotely scientifically accurate.
Right.
Real quick.
One of the things that I really loved is that there was technobabble, but appropriate technobabble, you know. Which was great, you know, talking about the accretion disk and the things surrounding the accretion disk, and it discussed real scientific things in a really great way, you know. No mention of EPS conduits exploding, although we did get several exploding consoles, because it's not a Star Trek space battle without exploding consoles.
That's right.
Yes, ma'am.
So I don't know what design feature causes that to happen, that whenever the hull is struck by a weapon, you know, the con explodes in your navigator's face. Like I think Starfleet needs to figure that out. And obviously, we know they don't figure it out for at least 100 more years.
Let's see. Let's see. A finish shot bounces off the shields. The shield disperse it, but it's got to go somewhere.
Yeah, right into your navigator's face. It's like all helmsmen need to wear blast shielding over their face, just in case the console explodes.
We could just transfer the con over here to the weapons so they can handle it right now.
And then that console explodes.
Captain, oh god, shot! You gotta pop in the chair.
Next thing you know, the little readout screens on the captain's chair are going to start exploding.
Sir, we're out of consoles. What do we do?
Just take charge from me and the captain. Push him to the side. I have command now. Of what?
See, like that's what it is. All that excess energy from your shields being overloaded is shunted into your bridge consoles. And if the bridge consoles are out, then it starts going through your engineering consoles. We've explained it.
And it's going to end up on your food replicators.
Yeah. Just like subsystems throughout the story. Like bridge first, engineering. Starts with the bridge, goes to engineering, goes to the mess hall.
To the toilet.
Great. Hot. Just hot.
I'm not even mad. I looked over at my wife as we were watching. I'm like, it's not a Star Trek space battle until a console explodes in somebody's face. And sure as shit. Which is fun, and it's we're joking about it now, but strangely enough, that is right in line with the visual canon of Trek. That it made it feel like home.
Yeah.
So
weirdly enough,
you guys like the preview where she's on that transport, she's getting transported, and they go, "Hey, it's Burnham." What? Yeah, really? Yeah.
Oh yeah, the traitor.
She started as, and I was like, "Wow, that's like Judge Dredd." Hey, look, it's Dredd.
That's actually a pretty straight up legit comparison there. Like, there's a lot of science fiction stories that deal with that. It's like the cop that has to go to prison.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, like it was funny. I was sitting here watching it, at the end of the second episode, when she's up, in front of the tribunal getting court-martialed, and they're like, hey, "How do you plead?" Blah 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 blah. Guilty on all counts. You are stripped of rank and sentenced to life in prison. My wife goes, "There's no way that's real. She's dreaming." Yeah, then the episode ends. I'm like, no, like she's been sentenced to life in prison.
Into Phantom Zone.
We're crossing the streams again.
Right.
Go hang with Zod. Been for Zod.
See, I wonder if that's where we're going to meet Harry Mudd. Is in prison.
That crazy dude?
Yeah.
That's definitely plausible.
That was a lot of really, really awesome things.
I mean, what kind of crew does Discovery have? This is the land of misfit toys on this crew, dude.
Well, it seems like one of the things that we've heard about Gabriel Lorca is that he is like the misfit captain. He has said in his little bio interview over the past couple of weeks that he's not the greatest captain for exploration, but he's a great captain for a battle. Like, he's not the best Starfleet, the ideal Starfleet captain. He's a fighter.
I don't believe in sitting across the table in politics. I believe in taking a feather to your head and pull on the trigger. Yeah.
Well, like most of the promotional shots that we've seen of Gabriel Lorca is him sitting there with a phaser.
Burnham, you're my commander, but this is the real friend right here. My phaser rifle always set to kill. Overloaded for maximum damage.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus.
Like I still want my money shot of the Discovery pulling out of dry dock. I want that money establishing shot. We didn't get one of those in these first two episodes. And I kind of missed it because like that's such a big part of Star Trek is the ships. Although the ships, holy crap, the ships are really cool. I love the Walker class. Like I am a huge fan of the Walker class, and we saw a couple of those.
Did you catch? Let's see.
Go ahead.
Yeah, did you catch the what was it? The it looked like a Stargazer type class with the 4 details.
Yes, I did see that. There was a Miranda, which is really cool. There was some really older Starfleet design ships that were there. I can't go through all of them right now in my head.
Right.
I used to in high school. I could.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like no doubt. It's like I started referencing my tech manuals. Like, what ship is this?
How many Akira classes are there?
Right.
Pretty much, you both sat there when all the Federation ships dropped out of warp and everything. Like, oh my God, look at all these ships about to be destroyed. All the fodder on the screen. It's gonna be awesome. You know.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's really easy to get into ship design with Star Trek, you know, like in and some other science fiction properties, space travel and science fiction properties, the ships are very secondary to the story, but in Star Trek, the ships are just right up front. Like here, look at my ships, look at my engineering section. Do you love my nacelles? I have Type 10 phaser banks.
The real star.
Oh, let's.
Just background characters.
Yeah.
Well, what did you think about the opening titles?
I loved it. It was very Leonardo da Vinci meets 23rd century. I no complaints. I was kind of expecting like the traditional ship traveling through the space vistas, you know, from like Next Generation and the original series, Next Generation and Voyager. Of course, Deep Space Nine is, you know, just traveling around the space station. But I was cool with it. Very cool with it. Better than Enterprises.
Yeah, definitely. Only thing I didn't like is that they didn't show the episode title.
That is true. That is true.
So you just have to kind of like look. Yeah. You just have to go online and look at it and see what it is and try to memorize it.
Yeah.
I don't mind shows that don't just here's a splash of title across the page, you know, across the screen. You know, I don't mind those.
Right.
I feel like I feel like those shows last longer than shows that that are defined by the episodic titles. You know?
Well, that was something that Star Trek has always done. Like every episode of every Star Trek series, from the original series to the animated series, the original series, Enterprise, all the way up, you know, has done that. So that was definitely a departure. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
So, man, oh man. Well, we've been reacting to this for an hour. And it's midnight. So, final thoughts on our, you know, Star Trek Discovery premiere reaction.
Show was great, and we've only just begun.
How about you, Will?
I feel like I'm a crack addict just waiting for my next fix now. So I'm kind of jonesing a little bit right now. I'm waiting for it.
No doubt.
Watch the first episode.
Yeah.
Bit by bit.
It exceeded all of my expectations by 1,000 miles. I loved every bit of it. Just straight up nerdgasm. So, all right. Well, everybody, we thank you for watching. We're going to come back each and every week, and we're going to review and discuss and react to each and every episode of Star Trek Discovery. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up. We are making that big push to 100 subscribers right now. Get entered into the contest. You'll see the link pop up in one of these areas here soon once this video gets processed on YouTube. And yeah, I am Average Joe, the Average Geek, your host for tonight. Of course, I got my bridge crew, Will Smith and Pat Whitehead. Awesome. Appreciate it, guys. Live long and prosper.
Peace.